All right, ready to dive deep. Today, we're looking at INTERPRINT. They're the ones behind all those cool surfaces we see on furniture, floors, inside trains, everywhere.
Yeah, they take raw materials like wood and turn them into those awesome designs we see every day.
Basically, they're style wizards.
Yeah.
But get this, they just had this huge event in Germany,
hmm
Design Days 2024, all about going beyond trends.
Exactly. Over 300 people came from all over, like 20 different countries, to figure out how to make style that actually lasts.
So not just what's hot this minute, but what really works long term. I like that.
It all comes down to what Stefan Philibek, their global director of marketing and design, is pushing for.
Okay, so he's like the mastermind behind this whole beyond trends
Yeah.
movement.
You could say that. He wants design that's less about what's in and more about, what people actually need and want in their lives.
So less about following the crowd, more about what fits you. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. And their Design Days 2024 was all about showing that they called it coded experience.
Coded experience, huh? Sounds kind of techy.
Well, think about it. You could touch different wood textures, feel the colors, even listen to the sounds of stones.
Wait, listen to stones. That's wild.
Yeah, they wanted you to really connect with the materials, like on a whole other level.
That's crazy. I've never even thought about experiencing design through sound.
It was super innovative. But get this, they also used AI to make the whole thing really personal.
AI, like robots designing your house.
Not quite robots, but close. You answered some questions about what you like, and then their AI made a special code, like your own design DNA.
So hold on, you're telling me they have an AI that can figure out your style?
Basically, yeah. And then it would make an image showing you different decor styles that matched your, unique preferences.
So it's like a personalized style guide made by a computer. That's kind of awesome.
Totally. And to top it off, they even had an artist, Gustavo Dalinha, create a special piece just for the event.
Of course they did. Merging art and design, that's so INTERPRINT.
Exactly. And his work wasn't just there to look pretty, it was all about showing how color and light, even emotions, play a part in design.
So it was like this deep dive into the feelings behind design.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But they didn't stop there. They brought in all sorts of people, like IT experts from JSTEC, to talk about AI and augmented reality in design. And even trend forecasters from WGSN were there, talking about what the next generation will want.
Wow, they really went all out. This Design Days thing sounds like a total game changer.
It definitely was. But the biggest takeaway for me is that it wasn't just about fancy tech or pretty surfaces. It was about INTERPRINT showing that they're moving away from trends, towards design that's really about who we are and how we want to live.
And this shift is all happening under Stefan Philibek, right?
Exactly. He was so excited about how Design Days went. He sees it as a turning point for them. Like now they can redefine style and let people make spaces that really mean something to them.
That's a powerful idea. He's not just running a company, he's leading a whole movement. But hold on, for those of us who aren't, design gurus, what exactly does INTERPRINT do?
So simply put, they're a decor printer. They take stuff like wood, finish it, and print on it to make those decorative surfaces we see everywhere.
Ah, okay. So they're like the silent heroes behind a lot of the design we see every day.
You got it. And they've been doing it for over 50 years, since 1969. They've grown a ton and have 9 production sites all over the world, over 1,500 employees.
No wonder they can pull off something as huge as Design Days.
Right, and they're part of the Top End Group now, a big printing company from Japan, which gives them even more reach globally. But what really sets them apart is how they're always pushing the boundaries with innovation and technology. It shows in everything they do, from Design Days to just their general design approach.
I think what's really cool is that they're not just creating surfaces, they're creating possibilities. Like by going beyond trends and focusing on individual style, everyone can be their own designer.
Absolutely. And if a big company like INTERPRINT is doing this, it means something big is happening in design. We might be seeing a whole new era where it's less about following trends and more about showing your own vision.
That's pretty exciting. But it makes you wonder, if trends aren't as important, what will shape design in the future? What values will matter most?
Those are great questions. And honestly, there's no simple answer. But I think the main thing we can take away from Design Days 2024 is this. The future of design is all about creating spaces that are real, authentic, and personal. Places that show who we are, how we live, and what we care about.
So it's less about what's trendy and more about what's true to yourself. I like that it puts the power back in your hands.
Exactly. And that's something that goes way beyond just interior design. It's about being real and true to yourself in every part of your life. And that's something that's like super important, right? It's so easy to get caught up in what's, the in thing.
Totally. Like you see something on Instagram, you're like, oh, I got to have that. But then what, like a week later, it's already old news?
Exactly. And that's why what Interprint is doing is so refreshing. They're saying, hey, let's focus on creating spaces that actually mean something to you, not just what looks good in a photo.
Yeah, like spaces that reflect your personality, your values, the way you actually live your life.
Exactly. And I think Design Days 2024 was a really powerful way to show that, to get people thinking about design in a different way.
It sounds like it. And it also sounds like they went to a lot of effort to create this unique experience for the people who attended.
Oh, absolutely. They transformed their entire design center into this like immersive multi-sensory
I
playground.
keep hearing about this multisensory thing. What does that actually mean?
Well, it means that they engage all of your senses, not just sight. So you could touch different wood textures, feel the different grains and finishes. You could feel the colors too, like the subtle variations in tone and texture.
Okay, I kind of see that. But what about sound? How do you feel the color? And what's this I hear about listening to stones?
So for colors, they had these really interesting displays where you could like run your hand over different surfaces and feel how the texture changed with the color. It was subtle, but you could definitely feel a difference. And for the stones, they had this installation where different types of stones were arranged, and you could listen to the sounds they made when you ran your hand over them or tapped them lightly.
So it was like they were creating a kind of soundscape based on the materials?
Yeah, exactly. It was all about connecting with the materials in a deeper way, experiencing them on a whole new level.
That's so cool. I love how they incorporated sound into the design experience. It's not something you usually think about, but it makes so much sense.
Right. And it all ties back to this idea of creating spaces that are multidimensional, that engage you on multiple levels. And that's what Interprint is all about, pushing boundaries, innovating, and creating designs that are not just visually appealing, but also like emotionally resonant.
I'm getting the sense that this Design Days event was about a lot more than just showing off new products. It was about changing the way we think about design.
Exactly. It was about starting a conversation, a movement even, towards a more meaningful and personalized approach to design.
And what role does Stefan Philibek play in all of this?
Oh, he's the driving force. He's the one who's really championing this shift towards a more individualistic, style-driven approach to design. He believes that design should be about empowering people to create spaces that truly reflect who they are, not just what's trendy at the moment.
It sounds like he's got a really clear vision for the future of design, and he's not afraid to shake things up a bit.
Exactly. He's a well innovator, and he's not afraid to challenge the status quo. And I think that's what makes Interprint so exciting. They're not just following trends, they're setting them. They're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of design.
It's inspiring to see a company that's so passionate about design and so committed to pushing the envelope. But I'm curious, how does Interprint manage to stay ahead of the curve? What's their secret sauce?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. First of all, they have a really talented and passionate team, like from the designers to the engineers to the marketing folks. Everyone at Interprint is genuinely excited about design and about creating innovative products.
So it's like they've built a culture of creativity and innovation.
Exactly. And they're also really good at anticipating trends, They have a really strong understanding of the market, and they're always looking for new ideas and inspiration.
So they're not just following trends, they're anticipating them, almost like they're one step ahead of the game.
Right. They're constantly researching, experimenting, and exploring new possibilities. And they're not afraid to take risks, to try new things and see what works.
That's so important, especially in a field like design where things are constantly changing.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes Interprint so successful. They're not afraid to embrace change, to experiment, and to push the boundaries of what's possible.
So it's like a perfect storm of creativity, innovation, and a willingness to take risks.
Pretty much. And I think that's why they're such a leader in the industry. They're not just creating beautiful designs, they're creating a new way of thinking about design.
And that's something that we can all learn from, right? Whether we're designing our homes or our businesses or even just our lives, we can all benefit from being more creative, more innovative, and more willing to take risks.
Absolutely. It's about embracing change, pushing boundaries, and never being afraid to try something new.
This is making me think about, my own place. Do I go for what's trendy or what really shows who I am?
It's something we all face, right? It's so easy to get caught up in what's in.
Yeah, like you see something cool and think, I need that. Then a week later, it's already old news.
But what Interprint is doing is different. They're saying, let's make spaces that mean something to you, not just what looks good for a minute.
Like spaces that show your personality, how you live, what you value.
Exactly. And their Design Days event, that was a big statement. It was about more than just showing off new stuff.
So it was about changing how we think about design.
Yeah. They're not just a company, they're like a style innovator. And they're giving people the power to take control of their own spaces.
It's pretty cool that a big company like them is leading this change. Makes you think we're moving towards design that's more about you, less about following trends.
It's about making places that are real, that have meaning, and that last.
Places that make you happy, not just for a little while, but for years.
That's it. So for everyone listening, take a page from INTERPRINT's book. Don't be afraid to break away from trends.
Find your own style. Make spaces that are truly yours. That's what we learned today, diving deep into INTERPRINT and their Design Days 2024. It's about more than just pretty surfaces. It's about spaces that truly reflect who we are.
Exactly. Until next time, keep exploring and keep creating.
Catch you on the next deep dive.